everyone, my name is Stacey and I'm the Teen Services Librarian at the Naperville Public Library at the Naper Blvd location. And today for our teen craft, I'm going to show you how to make a really neat marbleized tile coaster using Sharpies and rubbing alcohol, and that's it. It's really simple. It's a really fun craft to do if it's raining outside, there's nothing to do, and the best part is everything's going to come out completely different and unique. And I want to show you a few that I have here right now. So these are some we've made in the past, and you can see this one right here, lots of color everywhere. And we were able to sort of cover the whole thing, and the rubbing alcohol did this really neat marbleized effect. But we also have one where we didn't put as much color on, and we sort of let the rubbing alcohol do all these really cool drippy kind of marbleized look. So besides that, our last one I want to show you is one of my favorites, and we used almost no color on this, just a little bit in the corners, and you can kind of see how it looks like a cool marble. So those are just to show you that no matter how you do this and how you'll follow along with me, everyone's going to turn out different, and that's okay because they're all going to look really great and there are no mistakes in this. So I hope you'll follow along and you have fun doing this craft, and I hope to see you guys very soon in person in the library for craft time.
So here we go. These are all the supplies you're going to need for this craft, and here are samples up close again. I just kind of wanted to show you what they look like. A little bit of a glare, but you can still see how cool they look. And both of these are made using all of these supplies right here. And you're going to need some Sharpies, the thick permanent ones. I like the thicker ones. They give a better coverage, and the more colorful the better for this sort of project. And then you're going to need some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and you need to make sure that it's at least 75%. This one is 91. If you get anything less than 75, it will not work. I found that out the hard way. You'll need some white ceramic tiles. You can get these, are bathroom tiles. You can get at any home improvement store. And you're going to need to wipe them off and make sure they're dry. They don't have any dust on them. They're pretty cheap. And some eyedroppers, or these pipettes that we use in science class sometimes. You can get these cheap online, and they're really good for getting into the bottle of alcohol without having to pour it into another container. You'll need a pair of scissors, and the scissors we're just going to be using on our felt we have here. This is sticky back felt, which we're going to adhere to the bottom of the coaster so it doesn't scratch everything, and when it's sticky back like this, saves us a step. We don't need any glue, so perfect. Any color's good. And then some sort of container to put the tile in. I like to put the tile on top of a cup and kind of drip it, as you'll see, but anything's good. So this is the fun part. We are going to decorate our tile. Now, I chose a whole bunch of rainbow colored things for this tile. It's one of my favorites. So we're just going to start putting coverage over our tile. The more Sharpie color that you use, the more your tile will sort of have lots of shades to meld together that give that marble effect. So don't be afraid to give a lot of coverage on it when you are drawing on there. Streaks are fine, it'll be okay. The alcohol will cover it and move it around. Darker colors tend to work best. You're gonna see as I start here with the yellow, it's a little bit not as vibrant. I mean, it's a vibrant yellow, but it's not as saturated as the others. And once we get started, you'll see how once I add the alcohol, the light colors can kind of disappear really quickly. So you're just going to make sure that when you're doing it, you got a plan of attack. And that also goes for this green one, which, as you can see, has seen some better days. These markers are well loved, and so I'm not getting as good of a coverage with the green, but that's okay as long as we get everything on there. If it's streaky, it does not matter. The alcohol will move it around and make it look really great. So it's just kind of funny to look at the different colors and how they show up differently on our tile. This is really hard to color while I'm making sure you can see it on the camera, so excuse me as I move it around here kind of awkwardly. And there we go. There we go. See what I mean? There we go. All right, so we're gonna keep coloring on our tile here. And we got our blue. I really like this blue. It's gonna turn out really cool, you'll see. And some kind of indigo-y color here. And you don't have to fill the whole tile. You can leave spots, you can do polka dots, you can do designs, you can do anything, but the more color you get down, the more you'll have to use to move around on the tile once we start adding the rubbing alcohol. So just something to keep in mind. And as I do this purple one, I'm actually gonna leave a little bit of white space at the bottom, so once I do it, you can kind of see what happens with white space. But there, I think that looks pretty good. We got good color on, and now we are going to get ready for the next step. All right, now here's the fun part. We're gonna take our tray, and I'll make sure it's flattened out. It's been bent up and well loved. We've used these a lot. And these cups, you can use 2 if you have a larger cup. You don't really need the cups either, but I like to put it on top so that way I can actually lean the rubbing alcohol around as I drip it. So now we're gonna take our rubbing alcohol, and like I said, make sure at least 75%, and our dropper here, anything you have is good. You wanna make sure it doesn't like pour out the rubbing alcohol as you're doing it. So I'm gonna test it over here on the side and get a little extra out. And then I'm just gonna do a few drips on top of our tile. No worries, here we go. And you're gonna see, I'm just do a few. I know it's kind of hard to see on the video, but you can see in the purple, there we go. You can see the second it starts hitting it, it starts a reaction and starts moving the pigment around. And I know you're gonna wanna pour a ton, but trust me, do not start with a little. You can always add more and you can't go back. And I'm gonna tilt it here, and see in that white corner where I didn't put anything, how the color's kinda purple is taking over. And you can also see in my yellow, how easily that red and orange kind of mix in with it. So I'm glad I didn't lean it the other way and put the blue in, but then you're done. Don't touch it, let it dry, leave it alone. So as it's drying here, you can see all the cool effects that are happening and how it doesn't look like Sharpie on a white tile anymore. So we're gonna set this aside and let it dry and continue to do its thing while we move on to our next step. Our next step is going to be doing the felt for the back of the tile. Now you don't want your tiles to scratch whatever you're putting it on, so this is to sort of protect your surfaces. And you could do little squares on the corners or things like that. I like to do the whole back just for better coverage. So I'm gonna use one of my other tiles as a guide, or before you do this, you can also measure it out on the back and cut it. You don't have to do it this way. And of course I've done it this way, and my scissors are not enjoying cutting. I probably grabbed a sticky pair of scissors. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, this isn't cutting as well. So make sure your scissors are not sticky. These are well-loved scissors that we have here in the teen space. So we're gonna power through here and cut this. I swear I can cut better, guys. There we go. Okay, almost there. Magic of editing, there we go. And there's our square, and it's gonna be ready now to put on the back. You can trim it to make sure that it doesn't overlap, and we are good to go for that step. And now we're gonna go back to our tile, and it is mostly dry here. And once it's kind of dry, you can decide if you wanna add more color mixing. You can add a few more drops. Now make sure it's dry before you do this. Now as you're gonna see, as I drop a little bit more, I'm gonna do these corners where I feel like I can still see it's Sharpie. But really be careful, because a second drop is going to start to take more of the color away, so you'll see the more white, and you can see with the blue dots how it's doing it. But this is a chance, if that first one, like I said, not to go overboard, to make sure everything looks cool and is the style you want. And you can see how that's looking. And now I'm gonna kind of tip it a little bit so I can get some of these running drips. Do you see how that's working there? Do you see where it's taken off a lot more of the original color? And I think it still looks really neat. And now that we're happy with our tile and it is completely dry, we can go on to our finishing steps. Before we put the felt on the back, there's another optional step. If you have any sort of clear coat, spray or Mod Podge, you can cover the top with it. It helps protect it. This Krylon clear coat is just a spray that you just spray over the top of it, follow the directions on the can. Or you can use Mod Podge, but make sure if you're using Mod Podge that it's completely dry, because you will be painting it. Mod Podge comes in a spray, but most people have this kind of in the bottle. So just make sure it's completely dry before you do it so it doesn't spread. I like the clear coat, so I'll probably do that later after I get off this video in ventilated area. So now our last step is to just add that felt to the back. So we're going to take off our sticky backing and peel it off here. There we go. And then you're just going to stick it. And I'm going to be a little perfectionist here and make sure that it lines up the way I like it. There we go. And there we go. Just press the back of it all around, and you can also pull it up over the sides if it is a little bit longer than your tile. And there we go. And now you can see as we put it down, no scratching, nice and safe. And there's our project.
So that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed our craft time today here in the study room of Naper Blvd Public Library. And I just wanted to show you our final product here. So you can see it came out really cool. I ended up spraying it with the clear coated spray that I showed you guys. And you can kind of see it's got some really cool, I don't know if you can see there, where it hit it, it got these really cool dotted effects. So it makes it look even more dimensional and even less flat. So I really liked how this one turned out. So I might keep this one at my desk and use this for my coffee here in the back. So I hope you guys had fun with this, and I hope that you'll join me for a lot of the other crafts that I have planned video-wise for this summer, and hopefully I will see you guys soon in the library. Don't forget about summer reading, and enjoy your summer.